4 o'clock on Tuesday, July 5th. We'll start our Planning, Programming, and Zoning Commission meeting. I would entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of the minutes. I would entertain a motion of the approval of the minutes for the June 7th meeting.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Who seconded that?
I did.
Thank you. I'm on the wrong page. This is Anderson with staff. The financial report is through the end of May, so that puts us at 11 out of 12 months for the fiscal year. We should be at 91.6% at that point of the fiscal year. Just giving you the totals of each section. For revenue, we're actually at 102% at this point, and for expenses, we're at 87%. A lot of that is because we have two vacancies in staff right now, so we're behind on expenses for salaries and things like that, which is the larger portion of that. So at this point, we'll know obviously next month for the final, but we should return quite a bit of funding back to the City of Waterloo for our fiscal year ending.
And are those positions eventually going to be filled, Noel?
We're going through the hiring process now. They just had interviews last Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we have to go to civil service, I think, on the 8th, and then hopefully move ahead there with some second interviews and chosen candidates.
And both are planner twos?
Planner ones.
Planner ones. Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions for staff? Thank you. Oral presentations. If anyone has any issues to bring before the commission that's not currently on the agenda, now's your time to speak up. All right. Hearing none, we'll open the public hearing for rezoning. The time currently is 4:03. And the hearing is scheduled at this time. Request by Structure Architecture on the behalf of Hawkeye Community College to rezone approximately 2.07 acres from M1 Light Industrial District to C3 Central Business District for the purposes of constructing a new 2-story building with a 20,000 square foot building frontage and accompanying 106 stall parking lot. At this time, we shall receive and place on file a statement of verification signed by Patty McGee stating, I, Patty McGee, do hereby certify that a copy of the attached letter and aerial photos were mailed to each individual on the attached list by regular mail on June 22nd, 2016. Could we have a motion to receive and place this notice on file?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right. Staff report.
Suzanne Darrow's staff. Applicant is requesting to rezone the property for the purposes of constructing a new 2-story building with a 106 stall parking lot. Request would not appear to have a negative impact upon the surrounding neighborhood or land use, and request would not appear to have a negative impact on vehicular and pedestrian traffic movements in the area. Area is served by West 1st Street and West Mullen Avenue, which is also known as Highway 63 and is classified as a principal arterial, and Jefferson Street, which is classified as a collector. Any access points to the site will be limited to Jefferson Street. Area of the proposed rezone is Zone M1 Light Industrial District and has been zoned as such since the adoption of the ordinance in 1969. Surrounding land uses and their zoning designations are as follows. To the north, 109 through 127 Jefferson Street, which is Burger King and BP Gas, Zone C3 Central Business District. South is Highway 218, zoned M1. East is the Cedar Valley Sportsplex, Zone C3. And west is 45 West Jefferson Street, also known as the Grand Crossing, Zone CP, Planned Commercial District. The area is comprised of commercial and residential uses, with 109 and 127 Jefferson being constructed in 1993, U.S. Bank in 2008, the Cedar Valley Sportsplex and DePaco Credit Union in 2012, and the Grand Crossing, which began construction in the spring of this year. Renovation work began a couple of months ago on the Tech 1 building to become a hotel and business training center located at the Cedar Valley Tech Works. The overall area has seen quite a bit of new development, including the proposed development, and there is more planned in the near future. No buffers would be required as a part of the rezone request. The applicant will need to submit and execute a landscaping plan for the site, and the site is located within the Highway 218 corridor district, which does have specific screening requirements of vehicular use areas. Rezoning the land would not appear to have a negative impact upon drainage in the area. As a part of the Highway 63 reconstruction project, the City of Waterloo is actively working on stormwater management system for the site and Highway 63 area to help improve stormwater issues in this area. Reconstruction of Highway 63 in this area is expected to begin in 2017. There is a 10-inch sanitary sewer located within a vacated alley on the site that travels between West First Street and West Mullen, which has been abandoned. There are 24-inch sanitary sewers in Jefferson and West Mullen Avenue, and there's an 8-inch sanitary sewer in West First Street. There are 12-inch storm sewers in West First Street and West Mullen Avenue, and twin 36-inch storm sewers in Jefferson Street. Future land use map designates this area as commercial within the City of a Comprehensive Plan dated February 3rd, 2003. And it notes that commercial uses for those general uses that involve the retail sale of goods and or services to the public for the purpose of profit, which can include neighborhood, commercial, and professional office uses. This particular use is for educational purposes for the Hawkeye Community College's Metro Martin Luther King Jr. campus. Schools are listed under parks, open spaces, schools, airport, government facilities, public areas on the future land use map. Rezoning the land to C3 Central Business District would be in conformance with the comprehensive plan and future land use map for this area. However, the proposed use will not be in conformance with the future land use map, but the future land use map is used as a guide when making land use decisions. The City of Waterloo is currently in the beginning stages of updating the comprehensive plan, and it may be necessary to change the future land use map to reflect the change in the proposed land use. Applicant is requesting to rezone the property in question for the purposes of constructing that new two-story building, which will be for Hawkeye Community College. The new facility will combine multiple sites currently operated by Hawkeye under one location. The submitted site plan shows that the proposed building having a near zero setback from the property line along Jefferson Street. The C3 Central Business District does not have setback requirements, which is intended to promote more walkable settings due to the well-developed pedestrian transportation network. Rezoning the land as such would appear to make sense, as the obscure shape of this site and zero setback requirements would allow for maximum use of the property. The near zero setback design would also appear compatible with the setbacks and designs of the nearby Cedar Valley Sportsplex and Grand Crossing development. A 106-stall parking lot is also shown, and due to this being located within the highway corridor, there are increased vehicular use area setbacks, which are 25 feet from Highway 218 right-of-way and 8 feet from any other right-of-way line. The Highway 218 Design Review Board will have oversight of these required setbacks when it goes through the review process. At this time, no building elevations are available. However, they will need to be submitted when going through the design review process, along with a landscaping plan. Furthermore, as an educational facility, this project will have to come back before the Planning and Zoning Commission through the special permit process. This rezoning action will help them know their eligible setbacks as they work to finalize the design work. Therefore, staff recommends that the request to rezone approximately 2.07 acres of land from M1 to C3 be approved for the following reasons. The rezoning request would not appear to have a negative impact upon the surrounding area. The request would not appear to have a negative impact upon pedestrian and traffic conditions within the surrounding area. And 3, the proposed rezone is contiguous to land already zoned C3 Central Business District, and with the condition that stormwater management will continue to be discussed and mutually agreed upon for the site and overall stormwater improvements in the area.
Any questions for staff?
I was just, this is do not. My question was the, in the second section or the second paragraph on page 15, when it talks about the various different setbacks, that the project was exempt from. When it goes through future review in the process, are setbacks going to have to be considered at that point?
The C3 district does not have any setback requirements for buildings, so
Okay.
they can be up to near zero property line.
Okay, and then, when I talked about the future land use map and, when it wasn't totally in conformance, would it need to be in conformance later when it's reviewed later?
You know, being it is being rezoned for commercial and it's labeled as commercial now, but if it's going to be an educational facility there, and when we do our changes to our comprehensive plan and future land use map, we can update it to reflect the proper use of the site.
So it's more about making changes to the use map
Yes.
than making changes to the actual project, or when we consider the site plan amendment or the site plan review.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is Gustafson. Craig and I were talking earlier. We were wondering, how did this ever get zoned
M1.
M1?
This is
Because
Anderson
it was a
staff.
bowling alley before.
I was not born in 1969, but
Almost.
that was pretty close.
This is Holdeman, no, rub it in.
My guess is, you're down near John Deere, you're down near the highway. They were probably expecting a lot of industrial development to potentially occur within this area. At the same time, there was also some railroad yards and some other things that were in nearby, close proximity to this, like the Grand Crossing site. Even though it was a Grand Hotel last, there was actually a rail yard there before Highway 218 went through. So there was a lot of industrial uses kind of scattered about through here. So it's probably not uncommon that it was. Commercial uses can go in industrial zones. So the bowling alley would have been fully compliant to be in an industrial area, even though it could have been in a commercial. It was fine in an industrial as well.
Okay. Thank
This
you.
is Flynn, and I was just wondering, as far as, this is way down the road, but as far as a 106 stall parking lot, I'm sure that looks pretty lucrative to the Young Arena for parking. Has that ever been looked at as a cooperative agreement potentially?
That I do not know. I know somebody representing the applicant here, maybe they have discussed with Young Arena about that. I'm not sure though.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any more questions for staff? For those of you who wish to speak for or against the request, we would ask that you please come to the microphone, identify yourself by name and address. The members of the commission should also identify themselves before speaking into the microphone.
Hello, my name is Pat Morrissey, and I live at 824 West 3rd Street in Waterloo. Sorry I'm a little late here, things happen, but I'm the councilman that's for Ward 3 where this is in, and I guess I look forward to Hawkeye having a new spot. My only concern with this is the configuration of it between two busy highways and with the construction and everything that's going on. It sounds like it could be a big mess down there for a while, and I just would like to get some feedback from staff or whoever about how all that's going to be handled with the traffic situation. And then after it's completed, you're still going to be, Hawkeye's still going to be between two ways that Highway 63 is going, and how is traffic going to be handled? Maybe you already answered that, Noel. I don't know. I was late. I'm sorry. But other than that, I support this, and I hope that it is a good venture. Definitely, I believe, would be good for downtown Waterloo and that area of town that's developing so much. So, thank you.
This is Anderson's staff, and City Engineer Eric Dorson's here as well. If you want to add anything, Eric, we've been meeting as staff pretty regularly with the Iowa Department of Transportation too on the Highway 63 project, and sharing the information of their timing schedule with Structure Architects, who's designing this for Hawkeye. So they're fully aware of kind of the timing of that. You know, in terms of the setup, I think Hawkeye is still looking to finalize exactly how they're going to lay this out. You kind of have a preliminary idea of how it may lay out in the packet. That could easily change, and there'll be another special permit process for educational uses that'll come back to you for a more specific site plan review. This zoning gives them a lot more flexibility in their options for how they want to try to lay it out. And, you know, since they're spending time and money to do that, they wanted to kind of have those options verified with this zoning change. You know, in terms of the access points, the traffic between 63, you know, all the access points will still remain off of Jefferson. There won't be anything off of either one of the highway couplets. But we expect that it'll be managed, and, you know, of course, those are both signalized intersections, so we think that it'll be a workable situation to get them in and out of there. And, you know, in terms of talking about traffic and with parking, Hawkeye is definitely aware that Young Arena is there and that people have parked here in the past, and obviously there'll be some, you know, working together like there is for all downtown businesses for where people park. You know, generally people are going to park at the banks and all that too after hours, knowing that it's in close proximity. You know, there is a lot of new parking that's opened up across the street from the Sportsplex recently too, so there's a lot of parking options down here. And if there's not programming at Hawkeye, people could definitely still park there. Hawkeye's aware of that. If there is programming there, then it's going to be kind of a first come, first serve. Nobody wants to argue with the hockey fans, but we'll see who gets there.
Well, this is Flynn, similar to the Rec Center for the Arts. You know, they block it off if they have programming, and, you know. But one positive that I think with Mr. Morrissey is that Hawkeye would not be like an elementary, middle school, high school. Their classes start at various times. It's not going to be a flow at 7:45, 48 buses trying to get in there. I think it'll be more of a staggered pattern of cars getting into that facility too. So I think, you know, and plus with the new Grand Crossings, I was like, that could work for some housing also.
Eric Thorsten here. I agree with everything Noel said. I just wanted to add that during the construction of the Highway 63 reconstruction project, that is going to be done under traffic in this area because there are a lot of businesses in that corridor that will need access. It won't be as good as it is today and as good as it will be when the project is done, but we do have to maintain access to businesses, so it'll be done under traffic and will be congested, but hopefully it'll only be for a couple of years.
Eric, if you could just stay there, I've got a question for you as well. Can you speak to some of the concerns with pedestrian traffic, especially looking at the old site, the Metro site, serving very much those folks in that neighborhood, potentially walking quite a ways? Are there going to be additional pedestrian lighting across 63?
Well, the Highway 63 reconstruction project will replace all the traffic signals which have pedestrian crossing signals, okay, and the ADA ramps and everything will all be brought up to current standards. Okay. So there's a pretty good sidewalk network down there already, but that'll all be brought up to current, okay, standards, and we'll continue to have the crossings and the traffic signals. Cool. So perfect. It shouldn't be too much different than it is today, only hopefully a lot more traffic.
Sounds good. Thank you.
And Eric, sorry, this is Flynn. For city buses to get in and out of there, will that be, because I know the metro campuses have a lot of city bus traffic that goes in and out, the turns are wide enough and that type of thing?
It all will be when it's done. It might be a little more interesting during construction, but I'm sure they can make some temporary things to get buses in there. Although, and maybe the architect can speak to this, I'm sure this is going to take a little while to build too. So with a little luck, maybe the roads will be pretty much done by the time the facility opens, so maybe that won't be a huge issue.
Okay, thank you.
So did it say in the this is do not, did it say in the packet, did I miss it, when they expect the project to be done? Like 2017 or something? Did I miss that?
It did not.
Okay.
Well, Dan, if you want to address that.
Well, it did say construction late 16, beginning of 17, beginning.
Okay.
Right. We intend to start sometime 17, and it's at least an 18-month, 24-month process.
Any other questions for either staff or Dan with structure? I'd entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of closing the hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Commission discussion or a vote.
I'll make a motion that we approve the request to rezone the approximately 2.07 acres of land from M1 Light Industrial District to C3 Central Business District to be approved for the following reasons. This is Holdeman, by the way. The rezoning request would not appear to have a negative impact on the surrounding area. It would not appear to have a negative impact upon pedestrian and traffic conditions, and the proposed rezone area is contiguous to land already zoned C3 Central Business District, subject to the stormwater management discussion being continued and mutually agreed upon for the development and overall stormwater improvements in the area.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval with the condition as stated in the packet. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Do we have any discussion items?
We do not.
Then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. There we go.